Have you ever asked yourself, just how tired am I? Not tired from work or from lack of sleep, but a deeper kind of exhaustion. The kind that comes when you keep forcing yourself to try harder to control everything around you. You fight against time, against the expectations of others, and against the invisible standards you set for yourself. Day after day, you push yourself to be stronger, to be more positive, and to never allow yourself to break down. You force yourself to maintain relationships that have lost their meaning, to hold on to old habits simply because you're afraid of change. But the more you try, the more everything seems to slip through your fingers like water, like sand, like life itself. But what if you stopped? What if you learned to let go of the things that don't belong to you and focused only on what you can truly control? That's the spirit of Stoicism. Living proactively and calmly, refusing to let yourself be buried by things beyond your reach. Before you move on, leave a comment. I'm ready to change my life if you're also willing to turn the page and start a new chapter. 1. The fatigue of trying to control. The fatigue of trying to control your life. Your life. Life can surprise us sometimes in wonderful ways, and sometimes with challenges we never imagined. Whether we like it or not, things rarely go exactly as planned. Deep down, most of us crave a sense of control. We want everything to be clear, predictable, manageable, something we can grasp and shape. That feeling of waking up every day knowing exactly what will happen, knowing what to do to achieve the results we want, truly brings a sense of safety and comfort. We want others to understand and follow our wishes. We hope for harmonious relationships, smooth work days, and that the darkness out there never touches those we love. But the world doesn't operate by our calculations. The older we get, the more we confront disappointment, the more we realize there's so much that lies beyond our reach. The weather can suddenly turn rainy. Even if the forecast promised sunshine all week, a small outbreak of illness can upend the plans, jobs, and lives of millions. Just one careless comment from someone else can weigh down our mood for an entire day. Everyone around us is their own world, with feelings, thoughts, sadness, and dreams that are entirely unique. There's no map that can help us control all of that. We're taught that as long as we try our best, we'll get what we want. Grades, careers, relationships, even the feelings of others. All supposedly within our control if we just work hard enough. But reality is far different. Some people study day and night and still fall short of their expectations. Some love with all their heart, but still can't hold on to someone else's affection. Some prepare everything perfectly only for one unexpected event to sweep it all away. Each time this happens, we're not only disappointed with the world, but we also blame ourselves. Maybe I didn't try hard enough. Why can't I control everything the way they say I should? The cost of trying to control everything is a constant, silent exhaustion that seeps through our minds, often without us even realizing it. This exhaustion doesn't just come from work or relationships, but from the internal pressure, the voice that tells us to keep pushing, to be strong, to never allow failure. Every time things spiral beyond our expectations, we're left feeling lost and deeply disappointed. Sometimes we start to doubt ourselves, even lose faith that we can change anything in this life. A young person steps out of university full of hope. They believe that with hard work they'll land their dream job, build meaningful relationships, and take charge of their future. They plan every step, prepare every everything meticulously, send out dozens of CVs and carefully craft each introduction. Then one day, despite making it to the final interview round, they receive a rejection. Questions swirl in their mind. What did I do wrong? Why isn't everything going according to plan? Am I not as good as everyone else? Disappointment and exhaustion set in. They might keep trying, keep pushing, keep forcing themselves forward, or gradually lose their sense of direction. We have all been that young person, or maybe we still are. We try to steer everything, work, relationships, even the smallest interactions with friends, as well as the big decisions about our careers and families. But the tighter we hold on, the more things seem to slip through our fingers. That's just how life works. It's like trying to hold water in your hands. The tighter you squeeze, the more it escapes between your fingers. Only when you loosen your grip can you truly feel the coolness of the water. There's a famous saying by Epictetus, the Stoic philosopher, "Some things are up to us, and some things are not up to us." This isn't just philosophical advice, it's a simple truth of life. When we recognize this boundary, we begin to feel lighter. We stop demanding that we must control every outcome. We learn to focus on what we can do and accept the rest with calm. Looking deeper into Epictetus's words, he isn't telling us to give up, but to recognize our real limits so we can live more proactively and peacefully. Few things are as exhausting as struggling with what we can't control. We set out to change others' minds, strive to please everyone, force ourselves to be positive all the time, and try to always be our best selves. But every time the world doesn't follow our plan, every time people don't behave as we hope, every time failure shows up uninvited, we feel small and alone in the vastness of life. If you've ever spent sleepless nights worrying about what might happen, you know that feeling. If you've ever prepared carefully for a plan only to stumble at the last minute because of something unpredictable, you will know that feeling. Trying to control everything gives us a sense of safety, but it's also the source of pressure and anxiety, because the truth is, life can never be completely controlled. Stoicism does not advise us to be indifferent to life, nor does it tell us to give up all effort. On the contrary, it teaches us to channel all our energy into what we can control, our thoughts, our emotions, our actions, and to learn how to stay calm with everything else. This is the way out of the endless cycle of exhaustion and the pressure to control. When you accept that some things will come and go, regardless of your wishes, you will no longer be so disappointed every time the world doesn't bend to your will. And you'll realize that true freedom begins the moment you stop trying to control everything. You are no longer someone struggling against the current, but someone who knows how to float on the surface, enjoying the flow and discovering the surprises that life brings. Every day you will fear failure less, be less haunted by perfectionism, and feel less lost in the face of change. You will feel lighter, more at peace, and brave enough to face all the ups and downs, because you understand some things belong to you and some things never will. So, next time you feel exhausted from trying to control everything, try pausing for a moment, take a deep breath and ask yourself, is this really within my control? If the answer is no, allow yourself to let go. That isn't weakness. It's a step toward maturity, a step out of the invisible cage you've built around yourself. You'll see that when you stop trying to control everything, things begin to change. Not the world, but you, too. The Stoic view of control. The Stoic view of control. When the Roman Empire was engulfed in the flames of war and waves of rebellion, Marcus Aurelius continued day after day to record his thoughts in Meditations. The image of an emperor facing plagues, famine, and countless schemes, yet still maintaining an extraordinary calm, stands as the most vivid testament to the Stoic spirit. Marcus Aurelius did not try to control the spreading plague outside the city gates, nor did he torment himself with fears of betrayal from his soldiers or force himself to suppress every rumor or complaint among the people. He focused on one thing only: mastering himself, his actions, words, attitude, and composure. These were the realms where he could make decisions. He did not draw his sword to fight against fate, but chose to live in harmony with it, like a sailor who knows how to set his sail, though he cannot control the direction of the wind. Stoicism across centuries continues to quietly teach us that lesson. Modern life, though free from the battles of Marcus Aurelius's time, is filled with hidden struggles within each person. We often fall into anxiety, unease, caught between the desire to control everything and the harsh reality that much lies beyond our reach. Maybe you've lost sleep over an unanswered email, worried about someone's glance, or tried to change a loved one's feelings. Sometimes we believe that if we just try a little harder, keep a tighter grip, everything will fall into place. Yet the more we strain to control, the more exhausted and disappointed we become, like someone trying to hold water in their palms, only to watch each drop slip away. See clearly the two banks of the river of control. On one side are the things we can actively influence: our actions, thoughts, and inner emotions. On the other hand, there are things that never truly belong to us: the weather, the attitudes of others, the final outcome of our efforts. The secret of the Stoics is not cold indifference, resignation, or giving up, but a clear-eyed choice about where to invest our energy. They live with a kind of inner freedom, pouring their effort into what they can control and learning to let go of the rest with equanimity. This isn't just moral advice. It's a vital compass that helps each of us remain steady and at peace amid the turmoil of the world. We often confuse these two things. You can control your willingness to learn, your efforts, and your ability to love, but you cannot force anyone to respond as you wish. You can prepare thoroughly for an exam, but you cannot guarantee a perfect result. You can speak the truth, but you cannot control whether others believe it or not. Trying to force everything to go your way only makes your mind more tense and erodes your self-belief. On the other hand, when you accept the boundary between what you can control and what you cannot, that is when you truly step into a state of freedom. Freedom from anxiety, from unreasonable expectations, from the endless cycle of disappointment. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." That statement is not a fleeting comfort, but a profound truth that has saved countless people from the brink of despair. Because if you keep chasing after, changing the world out there, you will never know peace. Only when you turn inward, recognizing that true power lies in how you respond and how you choose to perceive challenges, can you truly master your own life. Imagine someone swimming in a strong river. If that person keeps fighting against the current, constantly flailing and kicking just to move forward, no matter the obstacles, eventually they will exhaust themselves and sink. But if they know how to work with the flow, understand the rules of the water, and move in harmony with the current, not only will they stay afloat, but they can. After day to record his thoughts in Meditations, The image of an emperor facing plagues, famine, and countless schemes, yet still maintaining an extraordinary calm, stands as the most vivid testament to the Stoic spirit. Marcus Aurelius did not try to control the spreading plague outside the city gates, nor did he torment himself with fears of betrayal from his soldiers or force himself to suppress every rumor or complaint among the people. He focused on one thing only: mastering himself, his actions, words, attitude, and composure. These were the realms where he could make decisions. He did not draw his sword to fight against fate, but chose to live in harmony with it, like a sailor who knows how to set his sail, though he cannot control the direction of the wind. Stoicism across centuries continues to quietly teach us that lesson. Modern life, though free from the battles of Marcus Aurelius's time, is filled with hidden struggles within each person. We often fall into anxiety, unease, caught between the desire to control everything and the harsh reality that much lies beyond our reach. Maybe you've lost sleep over an unanswered email, worried about someone's glance, or tried to change a loved one's feelings. Sometimes we believe that if we just try a little harder, keep a tighter grip, everything will fall into place. Yet the more we strain to control, the more exhausted and disappointed we become, like someone trying to hold water in their palms, only to watch each drop slip away. See clearly the two banks of the river of control. On one side are the things we can actively influence: our actions, thoughts, and inner emotions. On the other hand, there are things that never truly belong to us: the weather, the attitudes of others, the final outcome of our efforts. The secret of the Stoics is not cold indifference, resignation, or giving up, but a clear-eyed choice about where to invest our energy. They live with a kind of inner freedom, pouring their effort into what they can control and learning to let go of the rest with equanimity. This isn't just moral advice. It's a vital compass that helps each of us remain steady and at peace amid the turmoil of the world. We often confuse these two things. You can control your willingness to learn, your efforts, and your ability to love, but you cannot force anyone to respond as you wish. You can prepare thoroughly for an exam, but you cannot guarantee a perfect result. You can speak the truth, but you cannot control whether others believe it or not. Trying to force everything to go your way only makes your mind more tense and erodes your self-belief. On the other hand, when you accept the boundary between what you can control and what you cannot, that is when you truly step into a state of freedom. Freedom from anxiety, from unreasonable expectations, from the endless cycle of disappointment. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." That statement is not a fleeting comfort, but a profound truth that has saved countless people from the brink of despair. Because if you keep chasing after, changing the world out there, you will never know peace. Only when you turn inward, recognizing that true power lies in how you respond and how you choose to perceive challenges, can you truly master your own life. Imagine someone swimming in a strong river. If that person keeps fighting against the current, constantly flailing and kicking just to move forward, no matter the obstacles, eventually they will exhaust themselves and sink. But if they know how to work with the flow, understand the rules of the water, and move in harmony with the current, not only will they stay afloat, but they can also enjoy the journey. Life is just the same. The more you try to control everything, the more you drown in exhaustion. But when you know where your limits are, when you know how to let go at the right moment, you become free. Some may ask, does letting go mean abandoning responsibility or passively accepting fate? The answer is no. Stoicism does not teach you to be complacent. It teaches you to live consciously, to live proactively. The serenity of Marcus Aurelius is not indifference. It is a kind of courage. The courage to face reality, to act wholeheartedly within your control, yet to remain calm when outcomes are not as you hoped. That is the maturity of someone who knows the limits of their own power and cherishes every moment they have the ability to decide for themselves. Applied to modern life. We are no different from the emperors of the past. Every day we just face different kinds of battles, work pressure, conflicts in relationships, expectations of success, and fear of failure. If we don't know how to let go of things beyond our control, we become prisoners of our own worries. But if every day we learn to recognize what is truly within our power and what belongs to life itself, we will live more lightly, more freely, and without fear of sudden changes. The journey to self-mastery and letting go of the rest is not easy. It demands daily practice, from listening to your emotions and thoughts to asking yourself, is this within my control? If it isn't, learn to smile and let it go. If it is, focus your heart and effort on it, but don't let the outcome control your spirit. That's when you'll discover a remarkable truth. Peace doesn't come from having everything perfect, but from how calmly you face all that is imperfect. When you stop forcing life to bend to your will, everything truly starts to change. Not the world outside, but your own inner world. And sometimes just one small shift in your mindset is enough to open up a whole new horizon for your life. 3. Modern society and the control. Modern society and the control trap. In any society, order and stability are crucial for smooth operation and prosperity. For society to function effectively, every individual must adhere to certain rules and expectations. This is where the concept of social control comes into play. Social control refers to how a society seeks to regulate the behavior of each person, ensuring that everyone abides by shared norms and values. Although this may sound straightforward, the mechanisms of social control are deeply woven into the fabric of daily life, shaping the way we think, feel, act, and interact with one another every single day. In the 21st century, social control is not just about external rules. It is far more subtle, manifesting as invisible standards and unspoken expectations that are ingrained in us from childhood. We grow up constantly reminded to behave, to strive, to become successful, to earn degrees, own a house, always stay busy, always be strong, always maintain control. Over time, these social expectations become an inner voice that pushes or even threatens us, turning every morning into the start of an endless race. We live in a society that worships achievement, efficiency, and control over results, not only at work, but in every aspect of our personal lives. Social media, the news, movies, all contribute to painting a picture of the ideal person, wealthy, attractive, productive, and in perfect control of their life. Everything is measured in grades, job titles, income, number of relationships, likes, and followers. It's easy to get swept up in the feeling that you must achieve this, must possess that, or else risk being left behind. The pressure to succeed, to have it all, pushes many into a cycle of stress, anxiety, sleepless nights, and even depression. But ask yourself, When everything is weighed and measured, when control and optimization become the ultimate goals, are we truly living? Or are we just performing, playing our part for a society that always demands more? Many people are trapped in the control trap. They manage every minute, try to plan for every scenario, set goals for every week and month, yet find themselves increasingly exhausted and empty inside. The perfection that society promises remains a blurry destination. The more you chase it, the farther away it seems. Remember that your strength lies in your mind, not in external events. When you truly understand and accept this, that's when you discover your inner power. This statement isn't just a reminder, it's an escape. We don't need to control everything to find peace. What matters is how we choose to respond to everything that happens. Still, the pressure to control is not easy to let go of because it has become a core part of modern society. From a young age, we are taught that success is the result of control. Control your emotions so you don't bother others. Control your grades to earn top marks. Control your behavior so you don't lose face in public. As we grow up, that pressure only transforms into subtler versions. Controlling your appearance to match society standards. Controlling your words on social media to avoid criticism. Controlling your relationships to avoid losing affection. Modern society is like a clock wound tightly, demanding that everyone operate precisely, never missing a beat. The irony is the more we try to control, the more helpless we often feel. No one can fully master their work, emotions, relationships, or unforeseen events. A failed project, an unexpected breakup, an unfair criticism. Any of these can happen no matter how carefully we plan. And it's in these moments that we realize our true limitations. Absolute control is an illusion created by modern society. In reality, the only thing we truly possess is the ability to choose how we respond to what happens. Looking back, so many modern mental health problems like anxiety, chronic stress, and insomnia all stem from the obsession with control, the need to be perfect, the belief that we can't afford to make mistakes. This is the price that modern society pays for a never-ending race. Children are pressured to succeed from their earliest school years. Young people fear unemployment and being left behind. Adults struggle with fears of losing their jobs or not measuring up to their peers. Each person has their own fears, their own circles of control, but they share one thing in common. The tighter they try to hold on, the more they risk losing themselves inside. A healthy modern society does not pressure every individual to become a perfect version in the eyes of others. Instead, it encourages each person to recognize their own unique value, to have the courage to live authentically with their emotions and boundaries. In that way, control is no longer an iron cage, but becomes a tool for growth, helping us know where our boundaries are, where true inner freedom lies, and when it's the right time to let go. So, if you feel tired and under pressure, pause for a moment, look within and ask yourself, what is truly within my control? What is making me fearful or anxious every day? Sometimes the greatest liberation doesn't come from trying to control everything, but from daring to let go, accepting the flow of life like a surfer, learning to move with the waves rather than fighting against them. In that moment, you'll realize that real change doesn't happen out there in the world, but begins inside your own mind with a proactive and peaceful attitude inspired by true Stoicism. Practicing Stoicism in your life. 4. Practicing Stoicism in your life. Imagine yourself standing in the middle of a storm, rain pouring, winds howling, thunder crashing, everything around you shaking, and you know that you cannot control the weather. But you can build a shelter, keep the fire burning inside, and refuse to let fear paralyze your will. That is a profound metaphor for how Stoicism operates in life. Stoicism is not about surrendering to fate, nor is it about lulling yourself into thinking everything will be fine if you simply give up. On the contrary, living with a Stoic spirit means recognizing what lies beyond your control, like the storm, the weather, or the opinions of others, and dedicating all your inner strength to what you truly can influence. Your thoughts, your emotions, your actions, and your attitude. Life is by its very nature a continuous series of challenges where we can never predict what will happen next. Sometimes, no matter how thoroughly you prepare, you still have to face failure. It could be failure at work, in a relationship, or with a personal goal you once held dear. In those moments, it's easy to feel powerless, even to blame your circumstances or the people around you. But a Stoic does not let themselves get swept away by that spiral. They learn to pause and ask themselves, have I done my part well? That question is like an anchor that keeps you from drifting away in a sea of negative emotions. If the answer is yes, you learn to accept the outcome without being haunted by what's out of your hands. If the answer is no, you remind yourself that every failure is a chance to adjust and improve. This approach not only helps you overcome setbacks, but also grow stronger from within. Similarly, when faced with criticism or disagreement, our first reaction is often to feel hurt, angry, or even to doubt our own worth. But Stoicism teaches that these feelings are just waves. They will pass if you stay calm enough to observe them instead of reacting impulsively. When criticized, choose to listen. Sometimes behind harsh words, there is a necessary truth or a perspective that helps you grow. If it's only misunderstanding or malice, you don't have to be dragged down by negativity. You choose to adjust what you can. Your attitude, your response, and your commitment to your own values. This calmness is the foundation that keeps you standing firm, unshaken by the storms of other people's words. Imagine an athlete who has just lost in a major tournament. He may have trained relentlessly for months, maintained strict discipline, and turned down countless invitations to parties or entertainment. Yet, with just one careless moment or a single referee's decision, it feels as if all his efforts have collapsed before his eyes. An ordinary person might blame luck, point fingers at others, or drown in disappointment. But someone who lives by the spirit of Stoicism will sit down, analyze what they did right, what could have been better, and accept the result as part of their journey toward growth. He understands that he cannot change the past or control the referee's decision, but he can control his own response, stay calm, learn from failure, and keep striving for the next opportunity. This is the essence of practicing Stoicism in life. Not running from your emotions, not denying reality, but observing with clarity, actively, adjusting your attitude and actions. When you realize that real strength lies within your own mind, you will no longer be shaken by what happens around you. The storms may rage on, challenges may come suddenly, but you are no longer swept away or broken in spirit by things beyond your reach. But to achieve this, you need practice. Every day is a reminder to yourself of the boundary between what you can control and what you cannot. When you fail, look back honestly at your own efforts. When criticized, listen and adjust rather than getting angry or shutting yourself off. When things don't go your way, maintain your composure and seek the lesson in every experience. This is never easy, but step by step you will feel a growing sense of stability, calm, and inner freedom within yourself. In the end, practicing Stoicism isn't about becoming cold or detached from the world, but about learning to live more deeply with yourself and with life. You don't just stand still in the storm. You keep your heart warm, your gaze forward, no matter what winds may blow. When you stop trying to force everything to go your way, you'll realize life is actually opening up before you, full of opportunities, lessons, and a peace you've been searching for all along. To keep controlling or to let go. 5. To keep controlling or to let go. At some point in life, sooner or later, you'll find yourself standing at a crossroads. Whether to keep struggling to control what's beyond your reach, or to let go and gently return to what you can truly hold on to. This isn't just a fleeting choice. It's a way of living, a fundamental decision that Stoic philosophy emphasized more than 2,000 years ago. You may have heard somewhere, if you try hard enough you can change everything. But real life tells a different story. There are things that no matter how hard you try or how much heart you pour in, will still slip away. Like trying to hold water in your hands, the tighter you squeeze, the faster it flows out. Many of us are living like that, desperately clinging to what's already gone, trying to control an unpredictable future, or holding on to a relationship that no longer has room for revival. And the more we try, the more exhausted we become, the deeper the disappointment grows. So often, the only thing we can actually control is how we respond, our own attitude. When life shifts and shakes, we grow up believing everything is within our control, our emotions, our careers, our feelings, our relationships. But reality teaches us a hard lesson. The tighter we hold on, the more afraid we are of losing, the easier it is to lose ourselves. The Stoics never told us to abandon or ignore life. On the contrary, they taught us to live fully, to be proactive and clear-headed in every choice we make, but only with what we can truly change. Imagine someone desperately holding on to a relationship that has already fractured, hoping that just a little more effort will bring everything back to the way it was. But the harder they try, the more lost and hurt they feel. In moments like that, letting go is not a failure. It is the moment you face the truth, recognize your own limits, and open yourself up to new opportunities. It is the moment you truly grow, when you stop forcing life to follow your will and instead learn to accept, to be grateful for what remains, and to prepare for better things ahead. But letting go is never easy. Inside, there is always a whisper. What if I try just a bit harder? That is fear speaking. It is your survival instinct, your desire to control your fate. You only become truly strong when you realize that you can master your own thoughts, emotions, and attitude, not the unpredictable twists of the world outside. When you turn your energy inward to the things you can actually control, you will find peace and freedom. On the other hand, if you keep trying to control everything, you will only bring yourself disappointment, anxiety, and exhaustion. A Stoic does not passively watch life drift by. Instead, they live intentionally, actively choosing what to focus on. This sense of agency is not about controlling every outcome, but about controlling yourself, your emotions, your habits, and each small decision. When you let go of expectations for what is impossible, you also release the weight you have been carrying. you will see that sometimes slowing down, accepting, and simply observing is the strongest way to grow. Like a surfer who doesn't fight the current but moves with it to find their own rhythm, we too need to learn to let things flow naturally, to let them pass in their own time. You may wonder, can I really be happy if I stop trying to control everything? For a Stoic, happiness doesn't come from a perfect set of outside circumstances, but from a calm and steady heart within. When you accept reality without resisting, complaining, regretting the past, or worrying about the future, you discover a different kind of power. The strength of letting go, the freedom of inner peace. You are no longer a prisoner to fear and expectation, but become someone who wisely chooses a lighter, more mindful path. So, pause for a moment, take a deep breath, look at your life and ask yourself, what is truly worth holding on to? And what is it time to release? Find the courage to let go of what no longer belongs to you and give your all to what you can control. When you do, life will open up, becoming gentler and more natural. That is not giving up. It is growing up. It is not a weakness, but real strength. And who knows when you stop forcing life to bend to your will? Things may just change on their own. Just as water finds its course, sails catch the wind, and your mind finds deep, quiet peace, life will always bring unexpected waves and, conclusion, things beyond your plans. But instead of trying to control everything, try turning inward. Focus on the paddle in your hands, on your own actions and choices. When you dare to let go of what you cannot hold, you'll find a growing sense of calm within your mind. You're no longer confused or exhausted by what's out of your control. This is the spirit of Stoicism, being proactive, calm, and rational amidst life's uncertainty. If this message resonates with you, don't forget to like, share, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment below. Stay tuned for our upcoming videos, where you'll find even more motivation and wisdom to help you live stronger every day.